Complete the square and sketch a graph of x squared plus 6x plus 12y plus 9 equals 0. Well, what I'm going to do first is move the constant term to the other side, just so that it's out of the way. So we've got x squared plus 6x, and then we also have plus 12y equals, on the right-hand side, negative 9. Now, to complete the square with the x's, we want to take 6, divide it by 2 to get 3, and then square it to get 9. So we need to add 9 to the left-hand side to complete that square. And that means we'll also have to add 9 to the right-hand side. Now, there's no square to be completed with y because there's no y squared term, which is also a hint of what type of conic section this is going to be. But we'll get to that in just a moment. Let's factor x squared plus 6x plus 9. This is going to be x plus 3 quantity squared plus 12y on the left. And negative 9 plus 9 is 0 on the right. So our constant term is 0, which would give us some pause if we were looking at an ellipse or a hyperbola, but notice that only x is being squared. There's no y squared. We recognize that this is going to be a parabola. And so what we want to do is actually move the 12y to the other side so that we end up with something in the proper form for a parabola. So if we subtract 12y from both sides, this gives us the quantity x plus 3 squared equals negative 12y. And we recognize that with a parabola, one of the general forms was x squared equals 4py. So what's happened here is that it's shifted because x has been replaced with x plus 3. It's actually shifted the vertex to the left 3 units. So the vertex is going to be right here. And then, because 4p is equal to negative 12, that tells us that p is equal to negative 3. And so also, because it was x squared equals 4py, this is one that's opening vertically. And because p is negative 3, that means that the focus is actually going to be 3 units downward. So the focus is going to be right about there. And we've got a parabola that's opening downward. To figure out how wide it's going to be, remember we need to use the focal diameter, which is given by the absolute value of 4p. In this case, the absolute value of 4p is the absolute value of negative 12, which is positive 12. So the focal diameter of this parabola is going to be 12, which means from the focus, we need to go 6 units in each direction to get additional points on that parabola. And once we have those, we can sketch the graph of the parabola because we've got the vertex, we've got the focal diameter, so we've got our graph. And this is the graph of x squared plus 6x plus 12y plus 9 equals 0.